Ever get lost trying to find, like, the grocery store before we had GPS?
Yeah.
No, me neither. But, like, imagine if those little blue dots on our phones, right?
Right.
They just never existed.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. Um, the often overlooked but, like, mind-blowingly cool world of GPS.
Yeah.
You might already know the basics. I mean, we all use it. But trust me, there's a whole lot more to uncover.
Oh, absolutely. It's really remarkable how this technology, which, was born from like Cold War necessity, has become so deeply embedded in, just our everyday lives. We're talking about a system that can basically pinpoint your location anywhere on Earth
Right.
with incredible accuracy.
Right.
And it's all thanks to this network of satellites.
Okay, network is an understatement.
It is.
We're not talking about a couple of satellites, just like hanging out up there.
Not at all, no. We're talking about a constellation of over 30 satellites, all strategically positioned to make sure that there is global coverage.
Yeah.
So that's right, no matter where you are on the planet, at least 4 of these satellites are visible at any given time.
4 seems to be the magic number.
It is.
Why 4?
That's the key to this whole thing called trilateration,
Okay.
which is how your device actually figures out where you are in the world.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, so hit me with it. Trilateration.
Okay, so imagine you're like drawing circles on a map, right?
Okay.
Each satellite is like the center of one of those circles.
Okay.
And the radius of that circle represents the distance between you and that satellite. Okay, so your GPS receiver, which is in your phone, can figure out that distance by measuring how long it takes for a signal to travel from the satellite to your device.
Okay.
So if you do that with 4 satellites, you can find the spot on the map where all those circles overlap.
Okay.
And boom, that's your location.
So my phone is essentially engaged in this, like, mind-boggling game of celestial Marco Polo
Exactly.
to figure out my location.
That's a great way to put it. And the key to winning this game, you could say, is incredibly precise timing.
Right.
Which brings us to the, I think, fascinating world of atomic clocks in space.
Atomic clocks in space. Okay, first of all, that's officially the coolest thing I've heard all week.
That's pretty cool.
But how do they actually play into all of this? How do they work?
Okay, so it all boils down to the fact that the speed of light is constant. Right. Right. So by timing how long it takes for a signal, which is traveling at the speed of light,
Right.
to travel from a satellite to your phone, we can calculate the distance between the two.
Okay.
But for this to work, the clocks on those satellites need to be insanely accurate, hence the atomic clocks.
Okay, so that makes sense, but I mean, are these space clocks really that much better than, like, the clock on my phone?
Oh, we're talking about a whole different level of precision. These atomic clocks are so accurate that they lose less than a second
Wow.
every 15 million years.
15 million years.
Yeah.
Now
They are the gold standard of timekeeping.
that's what I call accuracy.
Yeah.
But even with these, like, super clocks, I know my GPS isn't always perfect, so what else comes into play?
So you're right. A few things can throw a wrench in the works. For starters, even though those atomic clocks are incredibly precise, even the tiniest discrepancy
Brilliant.
can impact the location accuracy.
Wow.
We're talking billionths of a second here.
Oh, wow.
But even those tiny variations can translate to, a difference of hundreds of feet on the ground.
Wow. So even a billionth of a second matters in the world of GPS. What else can cause interference?
Believe it or not, even the weather can mess with your GPS signal.
Wait, so you're telling me my GPS signal is, like, at the mercy of a cloudy day? That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's true. Changes in the atmosphere, like, the temperature, the humidity, all that can actually bend or slow down GPS signals as they travel through the air.
Really?
Think of it like light passing through a prism. It gets refracted and it changes direction.
Okay, so we've got our atmosphere acting like a giant prism, throwing off my GPS signal. What else do we need to watch out for?
So buildings, other large structures, they can also kind of wreak havoc on GPS signals. So they can block signals completely or even cause them to bounce around, creating what we call multipath errors.
Ah, okay. So that explains why, like, my GPS sometimes thinks I'm driving through a skyscraper downtown.
Precisely. And then there's another factor called geometric dilution of precision, or GDOP.
GDOP, okay.
yeah.
That sounds kind of ominous.
It's a mouthful.
What is that?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. So remember how we were talking about needing at least 4 satellites for, like, accurate positioning?
Right, yeah.
So GDOP basically describes how the position of those satellites in the sky can actually affect the accuracy of your location. So if the satellites that your device is using are all kind of clustered close together in the sky, the geometry of the signals isn't ideal, and the accuracy of your location can suffer.
So it's kind of like trying to triangulate your position using like 3 landmarks that are all right next to each other.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a very precise measurement.
Exactly, exactly. The ideal scenario is to have those satellites spread out all nice and evenly across the sky.
Makes sense.
That minimizes the GDOP and it improves the accuracy.
Okay, so I've got clock errors, atmospheric interference, signal blockage, and this whole GDOP thing.
Right.
It sounds like a lot can go wrong.
Yeah, there are. There are certainly challenges.
Right.
But the amazing thing is that there are also ways to improve GPS accuracy even in these kind of challenging environments. One way is through a system called assisted GPS or AGPS.
Assisted GPS.
Yes.
So that's like GPS with a co-pilot.
You could say that. Yeah, it basically it leans on the help of our good friend, the cell tower.
Oh, okay.
So it uses cellular networks to kind of give your phone's GPS a boost,
Yeah.
especially when those satellite signals are weak or unreliable.
That explains how my phone still manages to pinpoint my location when I'm inside a building,
Yeah, that's
even
what
though I
it's-
can't even see a satellite.
Exactly, because instead of relying solely on those kind of distant satellite signals,
Right.
AGPS can use nearby cell towers to get, a general idea of your location.
Okay.
And that helps to kind of speed up the process of locking onto those satellite signals.
That's seriously impressive. So AGPS is like the reliable sidekick
Yeah, yeah.
of GPS, always there to lend a helping hand. But what if you need even more accuracy, like down to the centimeter precision?
Right, so that's where differential GPS or DGPS comes in.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer.
DGPS, okay, so it sounds like we're entering the realm of GPS super accuracy.
We are.
Tell me more. DGPS, so we're talking GPS on a whole new level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Imagine this, a network of ground stations scattered all across the globe, each one with a super precise, we know exactly where it is, location.
Okay.
They're like GPS guardians,
Okay.
constantly monitoring the signals from those satellites.
Okay, so we've got these GPS guardians watching over everything.
Yes.
What happens next?
So they're comparing the location data that they're getting from the satellites with their own super accurate location data.
Right.
They're basically fact-checking the GPS signals
Okay.
in real time.
Got it.
And if they detect any errors, any deviations, boom, they send out these correction messages.
So it's like having a GPS safety net,
Exactly.
making sure everything stays accurate.
Exactly. And these corrections are the key to unlocking that centimeter level accuracy.
Wow. So when we're talking about needing that level of pinpoint accuracy, what kind of real world applications are we talking about?
So think about a surveyor who's getting ready to lay the foundation for a skyscraper.
Right.
Even a tiny error there could lead to major structural issues down the line.
Right.
Or imagine self-driving cars, right, trying to navigate busy streets.
Right.
They need to know their position with absolute certainty to avoid collisions. So DGPS makes those scenarios possible by providing that ultra-precise location data that those technologies really rely on.
So from guiding missiles to laying the groundwork for skyscrapers to the future of self-driving cars, GPS is really more than just a navigation tool at this point. It's woven into the fabric of kind of modern life
Oh, absolutely.
in ways most people probably never even realize.
It's a hidden hero for sure. And it's not even just about location either. Remember those super accurate atomic clocks we talked about?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget? They're basically timekeeping rock stars.
They are, and they play a crucial role in something else too, time synchronization.
Okay.
So those atomic clocks on the satellites, they provide this kind of universal time reference.
Mhm.
It can be used to synchronize clocks all over the world,
Wow.
which is really important for everything from financial transactions to telecommunications networks.
It's kind of mind-blowing how something as fundamental as time is now, intertwined with this network of satellites orbiting our planet.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, we're just scratching the surface here.
Really?
Yeah, GPS technology is also being used to track packages in transit, to study the movement of tectonic plates, monitor the migration patterns of wildlife, even map the ocean floor.
I knew GPS was cool, but I had no idea it had such far-reaching implications.
It's amazing. It really is a testament to human ingenuity and a technology that has, truly revolutionized the way we live, we work, and just interact with the world around us.
Absolutely. So the next time our listeners pull out their phones to find like the nearest coffee shop,
Right.
they might pause for a second and really appreciate the mind-boggling science that's happening behind the scenes, right?
Right.
It's more than just like a blue dot on a map.
It is.
It's a constellation of satellites and atomic clocks and complex geometry and even a bit of help from our friend the cell tower.
Exactly. Exactly. It all comes together.
This has been amazing. Thanks for like taking us on this deep dive into the world of geophysics.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.